weeaboo.
Yes, perfect for him.
Yes, I'm a weeaboo.
He's channeling his energy now.
Yes, I'm a weeaboo.
All right, welcome to the Geek Branch podcast. I'm your host, Tim. And just a reminder, if you didn't watch the last episode, these are my co-hosts, Matt, Devontae,
What up?
Dane, and we got a special guest, as I said in the previous episode, the Weeb King himself, Mr. Cussler.
That's me.
And I forgot to play this for him last time, so I will not forget this time. This is his theme song.
Yes, I'm a weeaboo. Yes, I'm a weeaboo.
Yes, perfect for him.
Yes, I'm a weeaboo.
He's channeling his energy now.
Yes, I'm a weeaboo.
This is low-key a jam, though.
Yeah, you know that's Filthy Frank, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Is it
Yeah.
really? That's great.
Yeah, it was one of his big breakout things. He's not Filthy Frank anymore. He's Joji. I'm actually really proud of how big he's gotten.
Dude, he's really good. I like
Yeah,
his
he's really good.
stuff.
Yeah, I actually bought his first album.
Slow dancing in the dark is my jam.
Oh, yeah. So this is the Otaku Talk. So, as I said before in the previous Otaku episode, in this corner is the Otaku Vaughn. And in this corner, and this is why Otaku Vaughn is on this side this week, and on this side is the Weeb King Cussler. All right, so our first topic is going to be what makes a good anime.
Oh, no.
Good job.
Okay.
Man, this Bowie is on.
No. I'm going to let Devontae start this off. What makes a good anime?
I mean, first off, there's no wrong answer, but for me,
There's some bad animes.
somebody likes it somewhere.
I mean, you could fail in all categories.
Someone has to like Shin-Chan.
More story and
Bro. I hate Shin-Chan. I said it. You've known this for years.
the audacity.
Don't give me that look. You know I've said this for years.
What
I hate
segment
Shin-Chan.
is this?
The hate segment.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
No, the hate segment hasn't started yet. I haven't spoken.
Yeah, I'm more of a story action scene guy. They gotta coincide. The pacing has to be good. I'm not really a fan of random fight scenes or broken story or fast-paced animes. They got to be pretty even.
Or those crappy Netflix CGI animes.
Oh my god!
Let's not talk about
I
those.
thought you said they couldn't be bad.
I never said it was bad.
They're
it's
bad to-
unacceptable. That doesn't mean it's bad.
In the mirror universe.
Unacceptable sounds bad.
Yeah, to me
You're
it sounds bad.
unacceptable, man.
I'll take that.
Oh, look, we need a lemon garb from Adventure Time sound bite.
Something to add to the third bank.
Yes.
So what is?
Oh, and then I have all this right here too.
what do you guys look for in animes? Like, what makes a good anime for y'all?
I will answer last.
I'm kind of the same opinion as you. I'm looking for really good story-driven moments, really good animation. A really good example, I guess I could say, is the Kakashi versus Obito fight, which is a really good mix of years of storytelling and then animation and fight scenes all in one.
Oh, yeah, I never gave an example. Mine would be Cowboy Bebop. That's like
What scene from Cowboy Bebop?
aesthetic. Yeah, Spike.
The Spike versus
Vicious.
his yeah.
The whole series. You get the whole
It
story.
leads up to that. Yeah.
Everything. Action is on point. It's well paced. It's not rushed. I felt special watching that.
I can understand that. Yeah, I think an anime has to, or even a manga for that matter, it has to connect to the viewer or the reader on a certain level. It has to have depth and emotion. So, like I've said many times before, My Hero Academia is one of the few animes that I look forward to on a Saturday morning. It makes me feel like back during my childhood, because there's obviously the strong Western influence of comic books, and everybody knows I love Spider-Man and stuff like that. And Deku is essentially the Spider-Man of My Hero Academia. So I have a strong connection because of the inspiration from that. Also, I typically like animes with fighting. I'm not so much a slice of life person like some might be. I like some slice of lives. There's been a few that I've connected with, but not too many. There was an anime last year where this young girl wanted to go on a trip to, it was the Arctics. And so she had like a whole bunch of her friends from her school actually able to.
I'm trying to think of the name of it.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. Crap.
Did you watch it?
The name is escaping me.
Was that
Yeah.
the Penguin Express thing?
Yeah, it was the Penguin one.
Penguin Highway Express, I think.
It was.
It did have penguin something in it, I think.
I'm not.
Blanking on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some of the slice of life stuff, they hit me. But then you got your OGs like Neon Evangelion, Neon Genesis Evangelion. You got your Cowboy Bebop. You got your what was that? Blue Gender? Is that?
Oh, wait. Blue Sea or Blue Gender?
Blue Gender.
Okay. They're both great, but I'm
yeah.
just saying they're two different
Wolf's Rain.
Dude, I was
Wolf's
about to interject.
Wolf's Rain hit me hard with, especially that last episode.
Dude.
It's so sad,
Dude.
Okay, and there's actually a really emotional Mobile Suit Gundam anime. It's like one of the short ones. I know you don't watch Mobile Suit Gundam, but there's actually a really serious one that's about one of the small outfit.
C00.
No, it's like Mobile Suit Gundam. It has to do with more of the army based people. It's not like where it has like the actual Gundams people. You know what I'm talking about?
Blood Orphans, maybe?
No.
Iron Blood Orphans?
Yeah, I was
No,
about to say,
it's a short event series. It was like double the 08th MS team.
Oh, yeah. Caleb likes that one a lot.
Yeah. If that's I think that's the name of it, but like it got so brutal where like the main character like lost one of his arms and everything, and he's still trying to survive because they're like on a big mission and everything. It kind of shows the brutality of war and stuff like that. It's not as high concept sci-fi as some of the other Mobile Suit Gundam animes. What about you, Cussler?
All right.
I know you like the girly ones.
Well,
Shoujo.
What do you mean by girly?
Shoujo animes.
Well, it ain't the fox and it ain't right.
not quite shoujo, but one of the big things I always look for in anime is I look for characters. I look for the character interactions. This is the true for games as well, but for animes, I like the different ways the characters interact. I like the way they react to what's going on. I'm very big on reactions. One of the most obvious ones I've recommended a lot. It came out early this year. And to me, it is still my favorite rom-com anime that has like come out. For anime, I've read all the way up into the manga. It's freaking amazing. It is Kaguya-sama, Love is War. I
actually just recently started that too.
I love that series to death. And the big thing about it is it's all like, first off, A1 Studios does an amazing job animating it, but honestly, they put so much more effort into it than they honestly should for what it is. To give the easiest example, the first episode, the basic premise is the student council president and the secretary or vice president are into each other. They don't ever want to admit it, and they want to make the other one confess to them. That's why it's war. It's literally them trying to get it. It's a bunch of their schemes, and there's more to it than that. But one of the first big things that happens is one of them comes up with a cockamamie scheme to get the other to invite them to a movie. And they literally have this entire, like, they even have almost the meme where it's like they're looking at the different formulas, trying to get the other to do something. And I love the way they react to it, especially when you throw in the wild card that is Fujiwara. Oh my God. Either way, the third character, the secretary, and she's complete wild card. He throws a wrench into everything they do and completely screws up all their plans. I absolutely love it. Action wise, like I can live without action. I can live without like big fight scenes. I do like them especially if they're well animated. Looking at you, One Punch Man season 2. Let's not talk about that.
Totally different studio.
Yeah. But like well animated fight scenes are good. I just prefer the character driven stories, the character interactions between each other. Granted, this isn't necessarily anime, but it is in the same vein. Persona Q is a crossover game between Persona 4 and Persona 3. Both casts get trapped together in this labyrinth. And I absolutely love the interactions between how these characters who normally won't ever get to see each other, won't ever get to be together. I absolutely love how they interact in these ways. And Persona Q2 is also the same. You add Persona 5 to it.
Yeah.
Sadly.
And Persona 3 is best group, emo band group.
Sorry, Persona 5's the best group. It won by a mile to me.
Persona 5 all the way.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the
We don't count 2. Nobody counts 2.
No one counts 2. That's why 2's never. I don't even think it's had an animated movie.
I don't think so. It gets mentioned and it gets like a slight Easter egg in 3, but that's about it. But I'm very big on characters, character driven story. Characters to me make or break an anime. If I'm being honest, I can live without big fight scenes. I can live without anything like that. I realize I'm just going in circles at this point, but
No, you're right, because that's one of the bigger differences between anime and Western. Just Western TV in general. There's a lot of inconsistencies with characters in Western TV shows. Like one week they'll say that their stance is on something this way, and then the next week their character's totally different. And that's even on.
Heck, as an example, you guys had brought up in an earlier show the Batman versus Superman, how they like Superman's entire thing changed between his movie and then Batman versus Superman.
Yeah,
that was a huge problem.
Yeah. So the common problem with Western.
But that's something to me that is really important. Past that, as I said, good animation, good fights if it's that type of anime. I personally just really like rom-coms. There's one that's coming out this season that's really good because the main character isn't actually like he's trying to be the main character of his own rom-com and it's going horribly for him.
Speaking of rom-coms, Zoe, you can back us up with this ongoing opinion. Would you say that Zootopia is a coming of age story or a rom-com?
Yes. What is your opinion, Hustler?
Why do I have that opinion on this?
Because I say it's a rom-com.
It's really both.
It's both, but the primary focus is the rom-com.
You have to pick one genre.
It's a rom-com. It's a rom-com. Sorry, it's a romantic comedy between the fox and the rabbit.
There it is. Maybe the audience might take my side.
All right, Dane. How about you? What makes a good anime, or with you, a web novel, whatever example you want to make?
Well, I mean, I apply the same formula to everything that I do. But for me, I wanted to just start with a little bit of an explanation so people might understand where I'm coming from here. So I've had 3 favorite animes in my life. And they're in sequential order. As I got older, they changed. And
I know 2 of them.
Well, yes. The very first one, and this is from when I was a kid, is Berserk.
Oh, yeah, we're not shocked.
Never mind. I know 3 of them. I know all 3.
Yes. That was my very first one. That was the first thing that made me respect anime.
Never watched it.
As a medium.
Never
As the
watched it.
old OG Berserk.
Don't watch the new one.
Yeah, I heard it's garbage.
It's
I
garbage.
still watch it, though the animation is absolutely horrible. We're going to get to that. So, yes, the first one was Berserk. And then what supplanted Berserk and took Berserk's place was Eureka 7. Which,
Oh, yeah, Eureka 7's great.
Yeah, it's a good
Have you watched the new movie?
yes, I've seen all of the High Revolution.
I need to watch it.
But
I have not.
So Eureka 7 beat out Berserk. So Berserk is a horror action. And of course, Eureka 7 is a sci-fi romance.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi romance that's got some of those Mobile Suit Gundam-esque elements to it.
You could also call it a mecha.
Yeah, mecha.
So as it goes, those are like as genres separate as they could ever possibly be. You know what I'm saying? They're very zombie separate. And then last but not least, what finally supplanted Eureka 7 after years was the saga of Tanya the Evil,
Yeah, we're not shocked by that.
which is an isekai.
Yeah, I think you would say that your current from rom-coms would be that one where that girl bullies that guy relentlessly.
Oh, you're talking about Don't Bully Me, Nagatoro Senpai?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or,
He loves that one.
No, it's something like that. But anyways, yes.
Yes, I very much so enjoyed it. But
The facial expressions are great.
That's a guilty pleasure. But
What about JoJo?
JoJo?
Yeah.
JoJo does not make my top. JoJo
Really?
has been great fun, but JoJo is nowhere.
It's too out there for him. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah, amongst other things. But here's my point. So those three are very, very different genres, right? So and it's really weird that they've sequentially become my favorite animes. And the thing that makes this happen is that what I care about most in an anime is theme and symbols, and how those themes and symbols are repeated and reinforced through the story. Everything to me has to come back to these two things. Every fight scene has to follow the themes and symbols. Every character interaction, the art, this people's choice of weapons, right? Everything that you can touch on, if it's reinforcing those themes and symbols, the quality of the work continues to increase for me until it reaches basically peak. And it becomes my favorite anime. So for the case of Berserk, Berserk is the struggle against fate. That's Gutsu's character.
Yeah.
You know, he's been condemned to this cursed existence, and his every action, his every goal, interaction with people, his weapon, his armor, everything about him is him struggling against fate. He's literally the quintessential too angry to die character. You know, and so going from that to Eureka 7 is about understanding and love, which, you know, it's because it's a romance story between a human being and an alien.
Yep.
You know, and it's reinforced.
One that will stand the test of time.
Yes, it's still hands down the best romance in existence to be. If
Have you
ask
watched
me.
Eureka 7?
I disagree, but that's just me.
It's fine that someone might disagree, but it's reinforced.
It's
throughout
the Korean Topanga of anime.
But it's reinforced
go that
throughout
far.
the entire series because there are multiple relationships that have the same dynamic.
Who'd you say would be then?
According
Naruto
to
and
the
Hinata?
anime.
You're totally interrupting Dane.
Sorry.
Yeah, no.
that's fine. It's okay. But so see, for me, right? It's reinforced throughout the entire series because there are multiple people who have a very similar relationship.
Yeah.
And that theme plays throughout all of them because there is Nemine and Dominic, who is another human alien relationship, right? There's Holland and Tahoe, Ray and Charles. The original first version of the alien communicator between aliens and humans, and the Nirvok, the basically head priest. So this theme has been throughout all 50 episodes.
Right.
Every episode reinforces it. And that's what made it so great. And the same thing for Tanya the Evil, which is a little bit more ironic there, but I'm not going to go into explaining that one as well. It's just that same thing here. The theme that existed in episode 1, which is very much so like Berserk, where it's a struggle against fate, though specifically fate in this occasion is an actual god, and a god that the character can speak to. It retains itself throughout every episode because Tanya's goal isn't that she likes killing or likes war or wants to be here or cares about her home country or anything about this. It's all misunderstandings from other characters. She wants to retire and get the hell away from conflict. That is her goal. She literally wants to have a peaceful existence. And it's her doing everything in her power, which is also, you know, mass murder and a bunch of other horrible war crimes to get there.
Yep.
And so that's the thing that's most important to me in an anime. I don't care about how it looks because I'm still watching Berserk, even though Berserk 2017 and
going on.
18 are horribly animated.
I was gonna say, didn't they stop that?
Yeah, obviously they had to because no one else was watching it but me. But
Just like the horribly animated CG prequel to Fist of the North Star.
yeah.
How did you mispronounce star?
Wow.
Tim
I don't
exists.
know.
Tim exists for this one reason.
That's 3 to 25 right there.
That's my. I don't know. I trip up on my words. I don't know why.
It's okay.
Thank you for that, Tim.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's okay.
But yeah, so that's me. I if there is going to be a fight, if that fight has no meaning to it, then I don't care how great it looks.
Yeah.
Some of the best fights like ever have just been, and I have this issue with Fate all the time, where I sit there and I watch
There's
this.
a lot of
They're
fighting
good
in
for that.
Fate.
Yeah,
They're
well,
good for that.
Yeah, where it's an amazingly animated fight. It's absolutely beautiful. Like the Fate movie, the one that I went and saw with you guys.
Wow.
Have you gone and seen a movie with us?
Yeah, this is the one where they're fighting one of the
He's
Hassans
seen
of
many
the- one of
movies
the-
with y'all.
I think it's Artorias fighting a Hassan.
You went to go see that with us?
Yeah.
You've seen a lot of movies with him.
Yeah, but I don't remember. Anyways, you're talking. Wait, hold on. It's not Artoria fighting him. It's Kuhulain. It's
Kukulane fighting
Yeah.
I
Hassan.
can't remember any of the fake characters'
I
names
can
to save my
remember
life.
every one of them.
But anyway, it's a
Got a
it's a
problem.
very
Yes, I do.
It's a very cool fight. I took nothing from it besides the fact that it was cool. Like it had no meaning to me at all.
There is meaning behind it, but it's not necessarily relevant to the plot. Like to give the idea of that fight, it's literally Hassan eliminating the members of the Holy Grail War and cheating by doing it. He literally lures Ku out to get KO'd, and it sucks because honestly, Ku gets punked out like a whatever you want to say in that fight. He should have won that fight by all rights.
But anyway, my poor being is no matter how epic that fight was, it has no thematic weight to me.
What were you gonna say, Matt?
I was gonna say, like, one of the things that I also look for in good anime is when it comes down to the fight scenes, I like something that has a lot of emotion to it, but I also like a really smart fight scene.
Yeah.
And Fate's got one of those Lancer versus Saber.
Talking about Diarmut versus Artoria. That's one of the
That's
best
his name,
one.
Diarmut. I keep forgetting his name. Thank you. I'm so happy that I have finally remembered.
Okay, so hold on. Are you talking about Diarmut versus Artoria?
No.
Okay.
I'm still correct. Right
I think
here.
Demon Slayer
But
has one of those
Last
very
time
fights
we were trying to
Yes.
figure out who the
When
other
they're at the
spear fighter
mountain.
was.
Yes.
Diarmut.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
when
I
he's
was
protecting his
confusing
sister.
everything with Kukulane.
Okay. Sorry, continue, man. I interrupted you.
But yeah, that was just one of the things is like I look for really smart fights, like specifically like when it comes to anime fights, I look for really good direction. I look for smart fighting. I look for stuff in that aspect. Like Sword of the Stranger has one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in my life.
Hands down.
I do know the fight you're talking about. I've never watched it, but I do know what you're talking about.
It's super good. The final fight scene where they're fighting and they're going through the scaffolding and
Yeah.
everything, and he's using the snow and like throwing it in his face. It's so good.
You know who has some really stupid fights? I've been watching Black Clover to catch up for the guys. Black Clover's got some dumb fights, like the underwater temple. Like all of them are cheering on Asta, who's like their rookie.
Their main character.
Yeah, but he's the main character. But like all of them are just like trying to help him out instead of like actually fighting themselves, and it's just so annoying because they draw it on for like 4 episodes.
When it comes to fight scenes, I do like, as Matt had said, to bring that example back, the Artoria versus Diarmut one. Aside from a few lines from the Peanut Gallery, Artoria and Diarmut, when they're fighting, exchange almost no words.
No, they don't say anything.
Yeah, because it's two warriors fighting to the best of their abilities.
Right.
I think Irisfield says 1 or 2 lines of like the fact that they're pretty evenly matched, but it seems like Diarmut's holding back, which you do find out he is because he's a double lancer. He has 2 different spears.
Yep.
There are other fight scenes like that too, and Fate's really, really good about them, especially with the new season that's coming out for Babylonia. Granted, the one I think of offhand is the Jaguar Man fight, and she doesn't stop talking during that fight, but the entire time she's whooping some freaking ass. Whatever.
Yeah, like the comment on where he's fighting her and the sword's invisible and he's gauging the distance. Everything about that fight is so smart.
It's
We got an Eeyore on set that y'all can't see.
Are you warm, Stacy?
I thought that was Stitch for a minute.
No, she does. Stitch is like her favorite Disney character besides Mulan, though.
there's a couple other ones. The other big thing for fights that I think that make a good fight. And honestly, it's not that they make a good fight scene. It's that they're a good, they have a message or like they have weight behind them.
Todoroki versus Midoriya.
Well, that's one. I was actually thinking of United States of Smash.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
That's the one I was thinking of. Because honestly, in my opinion, Todoroki versus Midoriya is a good one for a message. But in my opinion, that one's just a Sasuke fight. That one just looks amazing. The one for United States of Smash to me is a much a much more meaningful, because once you hear that punch, once you feel that punch, you know everything. You feel everything behind that punch.
United States of Smash is specifically All Might versus One for All, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Right, okay. So I'm on the same boat there, but that's because to me, that giant amazing punch from All Might wasn't the emotional weight or thematic weight of All Might. It was One for All winning.
Yeah.
Which that's me right there. That
Well,
no matter how amazing that punch was and how much it seemed to like flow in All Might.
He killed All Might.
Yeah, All Might.
Yeah,
like,
no, that was the end of All Might.
All Might lost there, and not just as a like that fight ended at that moment, and it ended in One for All's favor. To me, All for All won, and then All Might gets a combat when he's able to raise his fist after the fight's done.
Yeah.
But at that moment, if the episode ended right there, anyone in their mind, even though, of course, One for All got absolutely bodied.
Yep.
I would have said One for All won.
Yeah, One for All won because of his plan.
And so that's the most important thing to me is theme.
Yeah.
And that's how I judge fights. I don't care who's still standing at the end of it. The person who won is the person who carried their theme through.
The emotional moment for me with that fight scene wasn't even actually the fight itself. It was everything that came after with Bakugo and Midoriya both.
And then like the pointing to Midoriya, that's one of the God.
The weight that Bakugo had to carry that whole time, and
Yes.
and finally him, because it took him a lot of courage to finally talk about it.
Yeah.
Because he's not the type of he's not a talker.
Tim,
he's a doer.
I really wish you were caught up on My Hero.
Dude, me too.
I'm sorry. I'm
like
sorry,
on the manga
people.
specifically, because oh my God, Matt, we got to talk later.
I'm sorry,
I
people.
want to piggyback off of something
Yeah,
you
go
said
ahead.
about
Go
like
ahead.
the sound of punches. Hot take. One Punch Man season 2 sucked, but there was this particular scene where you get a little bit of story driven action with the main antagonist, I guess.
Garo
versus
Garo.
Yeah.
No.
dude.
See that is one of the better scenes from that show. I still think JC Staff did that show completely wrong.
What drove that scene though was the story of the little boy that they knit into the whole season.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
him being in the shed and the heroes coming, and then like the music on top of that, and like the sound of his punches hitting these heroes that just
And not
drove
only
whole
that, but it was also a big thematic thing in the fact that although Garo himself has said he's always liked monsters, he's preferred monsters to heroes. He even tried to say, "There's a kid in this shed. Let's go somewhere else."
Yes.
And the heroes didn't believe him,
Yes.
nor did they even try to confirm
Because they didn't. They looked at him like a
it.
monster.
Exactly. And that
And he proves to his point.
yeah, the heroes aren't good, at least not in that. Most of the heroes in that world only care about ranking and ratings and making money off of it,
Yes.
not so much actually
To be a
being
real
heroes.
hero.
Right. And that's was Garo's point, and he proved it. He did protect that kid survived, right? I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Like,
survived.
the
He
kid-
protected him with
Yeah. Okay.
basically his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he still, yeah.
Because Garo's point was that maybe monsters aren't so bad, and heroes are just killing them to kill them.
It's a big debate, and I'd completely be on Garo's side.
Dude, same.
I like monsters a lot.
Yeah, of course you are. This is our scaly friend over here.
But yeah, like
Unnecessary,
the
Tim.
music and
Throwing
sound
a man
effects
out like
drive the animation.
But yeah. So I mean, that's all part of like the cinematography of anime. I don't think there's a word for the cinematography of anime, but that's my point. Is that the score, the music, the action scenes, the setup, how smart the fighting is, how it's elaborate, and how it's basically conveyed out, all make good anime. But see, like for me, I don't know if anybody ever watched the Tanya the Evil movie.
I have
Nope.
not yet, but I actually do
Still
plan
haven't
on
watched
watching
it.
it at some
Right,
point.
Well, I would recommend it wholeheartedly.
Wow.
But there's a fight between there's a fight between Tanya and Mary Sue, who is her primary antagonist, who her name is
On the nose.
it's on the nose because she has what to Tanya is a curse in that Tanya is forced to rely on the divinity of the god that she's combating to get the power to survive her situations. Mary Sue not only takes it willingly, but to Mary Sue, it's a blessing because Mary Sue is faithful. Mary Sue believes in God. Mary Sue wants God to help her. And Mary Sue is relying on God's power to fight Tanya because Mary Sue is a rookie. She
Mm.
literally joined the army like within a year of her father's death and is fighting Tanya, who's been here since she was 10. Actually 8. So, you know, she has no ability to actually beat Tanya in a 1v1 fight until she starts firing off the equivalent of the Omega Beam out of her rifle because God's backing her up.